You're listening to Productivity Monsters in the Morning. We are the energy vault your real estate business needs to get you up and out and excited and productive for the day. We go over trending topics and things that really matter in the market of the moment. Here are your hosts, Tiffany Hampton and Brooke Silva.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What's going on in your world?
Just another allergy-ridden day in New England.
Well, allergy-ridden, and then it's cold.
Yeah, it's really weird weather. We're having the weirdest weather, and it's funny because last night Hope and I were driving, and she's like, "What is that? Is that dirt in the air?" And I was like, "That is pollen."
That's what tortures us on a daily. I know. As I grow older, I never had allergies as a kid. And I don't think I even had allergies in my early 30s. But when I hit 40, yeah, I was like, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So now my allergy pills, and I know when I don't, because I wake up and I'm like, I didn't take pills yesterday.
And I'm over, Lynn, we're all overdoing it so we can be functioning adults. But then I don't care when things say they're non-drowsy. It's a lie for me because I still feel it. And it's going to be an interesting day.
Yeah, it's all right. This will pass. I feel tree pollen is the worst of them all.
Yes.
But I'm sure others feel differently. I'm sure whoever's allergic to grass and all that other fun stuff. It could be worse. You could be allergic to peanuts or shrimp.
I am allergic to shrimp.
I know you are. That's why I said that.
I know it's funny. I went to an event and I just sat because it's an older, I got this allergy later in life, and I just sat there looking at it longingly.
I know when we share a room, and you know me, my thing is I get sushi, I cuddle up in bed, and I either evaluate what I learned over the course of the day, take action, or I'm taking another class. And I'm like, but I can't order shrimp.
Sorry, you can go out and have it.
Yeah, no. I'm a homebody. Give me my bed and my food and my blankie, and we're all good. So today's topic.
Yeah, let's talk about, there's always a cost associated to everything you want to do in life. There's always a cost.
Yep.
And it could be sweat equity. It could be time. It could be financial. It could be a combination of all of them.
Yeah. Two of my coaches in my world, Matt Teeter and Brad Knowles, you got to give up to go up. That was the statement that they made, but there's more to it. You either give up time, money, opportunity, and if you don't give up one, you give up all three.
Without even realizing it sometimes. And here's my other big thing is you also have to communicate where you're putting that energy in with the people in your world.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The amount of people, and this took me a long time in my world, that are affected daily by decisions I make in my business, is it hurts the people at home or it helps the people at home. And for years, people are always like, why are the kids always going with you to things for work? Mm-hmm. I've always involved the boys and the kids in anything I've done. One, we do so many great, amazing charity events, or there's things to do. They can fold letters. They can handwrite envelopes, because when they put the sweat equity in and they start to understand what we do, then sometimes the conversations about why I have to be gone for a week to go somewhere for work don't hurt like they would if mom is just always gone. Mom is just always at work. Mom is always traveling. Hope goes, my mom's going to learn and help other people learn.
Yeah.
Oh, funny story yesterday. Somebody called me Mrs. Silva, and she was like, what? Who is Mrs. Silva? She goes, that is not my mom's last name. And I was like, what? I'm like, what is my last name? She's like, the nerd. And I was like, excuse me?
Even the kid knows the brand.
I was like, that is a personality?
That's
Not
funny.
my last name. I have the same last name as you. She was like, oh, I, I was like, are you Hope the nerd? She's like, no. And I was like, oh, you could be.
Mhm.
Anyway, so she
Funny.
did events. So if I didn't take my kids to events, gold like that would not happen.
Well, and that's a great part of this. How innocent is that youth?
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And you know what? She was so helpful last night. We went to an agent's event with his client party for a wonderful team that I have been working with, and I adore them. And they've got kids about the same age. But Hope is a very different personality of kids. So she's finding all the clients' kids, herding them together, making them color with her, organizing little like races and doing all these things. And then when kids left, she looked at the two agents. She's like, so now what can I do now? Do you need cleanup? Do you need, she's just so used to being in event mode with me that it was so much fun to see her work the area. So she was, my name is Hope. That is my mom. And I like your earrings. And then she'd go on to the next person and the next person. And it was just, it's just fun. And that, she didn't get anything, like there were no treats last night. This wasn't something for her. This was, she just enjoyed being there with me and feeling like she was a part of my work and being helpful.
Mhm.
She put in sweat equity last night. She earned herself a $20 gift card from me, but for all she did.
Yeah.
But it was just such a great night with her. And she
It-
understands what I do now. So she doesn't see me as being gone. And she
yeah.
sees the energy. So I didn't have to, and this is why I love KW so much. Last night, I didn't have to choose between going to an event or being with my child. I got to do both.
God, family, then business.
It was so good. It was so, so good.
I used to, Katie, my oldest, when I first moved to Maine and I was in real estate, I brought her with me everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, and think about that, right? So when kids are little, why, what, how, right? Like that
Mhm.
constant questions. We throw them in school and they lose that ability to ask questions. And the benefit of you and I, because of what we do and how we do it and who we are, our kids get a different growth.
They do. You know what was incredible? When we were at Mega Leadership, the older boys, like we got this giant binder, right?
Mhm.
Both of them, one is a leader in his company or learning to be a leader. He's 22. During the day, I was texting them both different things because Matt's in an ethics class that was kicking his butt. He's never had to talk about the things that we talk about on leadership and servant leadership. And they both said, will you make copies of that book for us? We want to go through it with you.
Yeah. Well, the book is a life living book. It's not even just a business building book.
Correct.
Like you have to be whole with who you are personally before you can be whole in your business.
And I think the whole section about being a manager versus a leader is eye opening because at 22 years old or 19 years old, they're not getting those messages from the places they work. Because retail is not always, there are good managers, there are bad managers, but they're not leaders when it comes to like mall stores and different places.
No.
They're just, it's not, it's a turn and burn. You're never going to have the same employee for 35 years at the Gap. I'm sorry. When it comes to building leaders, they're not doing that. They're building people who work faster and produce more. They're not growing them. So when they saw this book, and what's in it for them? They're going to just personally learn and grow on their own. There is no, would they make more money someday? Possibly. But I know that those boys have situations handled because of the lessons they've learned from KW classes. You know, we have another great class coming, and I will tell you, get the book on Audible ahead of time. Fierce Conversations changed the way I bite my tongue. If anything, this book didn't teach me how to ask or change things, it taught me when to shut up.
Mhm. Yeah. 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 I've read that book numerous times. I still learn from it every time I open it up because there's a difference between like when you think of fierce conversations and I've been on this journey of like avoiding conflict versus attacking conflict and what the conversation needs to look like, because I'm intense. It's how I was bred, right? So I'm intense, and that gets in people's faces sometimes. And when you learn how to have a fierce conversation, like I always go back to the beach ball. Everyone has a different stripe on the beach ball.
They
And you
do.
just keep turning the beach ball, right? Because everyone is allowed to have a different stripe on the beach ball. So when you turn that into business, I have stripe one, but just because my stripe is one doesn't mean it's all and the only.
Correct. And it's the same thing with hats,
Yeah.
right? Like there are days we all handle different situations differently based on the day. It could be you could catch me where I am just up here, right? Like you could catch me when I'm down here. Like there's so many variables that go into every conversation, but when you have the tools and the questions and the know-how, you have the ability to go shoulder to shoulder with people instead of toe to toe. I'd rather sit next to you than be coming at you head on.
Yeah.
Nobody likes those conversations.
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
so excited this is coming. This is, if you are listening to this and you're not with KW or you're not even in real estate, because we have people who listen who are not in real estate because they think we're ridiculous and they love us, then this is for you. If you've ever shied away from conversations or confrontation, this doesn't make you confrontational. This teaches you how to work with your communication skills, grab some new ones, and really push you into better situations where you are in control of the conversation.
Yeah. Well, and like, what would it look like if when people got out of high school, we taught, like, in order to graduate, one of the courses is the different types of KW classes, right? Like their senior year, their junior year, and junior year, senior year, they're checked out. But their junior year, literally, you walk them through like quantum leap, fierce conversations, servant leadership.
6 PP alone changes people's lives.
Yeah.
I still check in with my people from my first 6 personal perspectives class I ever taught.
Yeah.
We still have accountability for that class changed how people viewed me as an educator, that I'm not just a tech person.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing with 6 personal perspectives is everything you desire to do in life, before you do them, implement the 6 personal perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Self-mastery, 80-20 rule, learning based, accountability. Like when you think of all of those, so for example, you want to get more listings. Well, how do you implement the 6 personal perspectives into getting more listings? You have to go from entrepreneurial to purposeful.
How about in weight loss or in trying to buy a home or any goal in life? You could implement all those things. So,
yeah.
Well, we went like,
well, and I'm just going to say, like, we're so blessed.
Yes.
Because I walk in the outside world sometimes and I'm like, I just like with my head, because I'm like, it makes it hard to deal with people on the outside world that don't understand this. And you look at it and you're like, I feel so bad for you because you don't have these tools and systems. And here's the cool thing. You don't have to be a real estate agent. Just align yourself with, we'll get you in.
Yeah, we will.
It's life-changing.
It is.
Yeah. Here, and my last statement on this, like legit, I was raised by a single mom who had me at the age of 14, who worked 3 jobs. I peeled shrimp at 6 years old. Like my mom was never around. There were drugs and alcohol in my life. I had my first kid at 20. I never went to college. Well, I went to college, but it wasn't my thing. Mm-hmm. And I got into real estate. In 2013, I joined KW and my world just went crazy, right? And all of the trauma and the loss, like I probably would not be on this planet had I not learned the lessons and the skills that KW gave me. Like that's how passionate I am about this learning. You don't need to be book smart. Like you don't need to go understand how calculus works. You do need to understand how to take care of people and how to work with people.
You do. And you just got to care. I think at the end of the day, when you're kind, you care, you're going to change worlds, including your own. So go out and have a kind weekend, especially with yourself. Give yourself grace, give yourself kindness.
And we'll put in the Fierce Conversations is going to be in Rhode Island. We'll put that information in the show notes.
It is. And if you have trouble registering, reach out to one of us and we'll get you all signed up. We'll walk you through it, talk you through it, and grab the Audible. It is so good.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. All right, my friend. See you later.
Bye.